Hello, preachers. Welcome to week 4 of Know You Are Loved. The peace which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God. Paul wrote that to the Philippians. Notice he didn't say, keep your hearts and minds in a state of religious receptivity so you can experience miraculous epiphanies that catapult you into spiritual superhumanness. He just said, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God. What are the knowledge and love of God? The knowledge of God is that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Amazing things, absolutely powerful, miraculous things. And the knowledge of God is that we probably won't. We're mortal, limited. Given the choice, we will probably choose to flee suffering, and so choose more suffering. So Paul said, keep your hearts and minds in the love of God. What is the love of God? The love of God is sunlight. It's grace. Lightning is very powerful. Lightning's 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Every bolt at least 100 million volts. The power of lightning splits nitrogen molecules and floods the soil with it. And plants love nitrogen, absolutely love it. But plants can't use nitrogen or any of their other available nutrients unless they have sunlight. Only sunlight causes us to grow. The love of God drawing us up and forward. And we can't increase the rate of sunlight. We can't increase the rate of God's grace. We can only be present to it and bask in it and let it strengthen and build us up. One of the ways we can be present to grace, or that sunlight, is self-compassion. Kristin Neff, a researcher at the University of Texas, has written and researched widely on self-compassion. I encourage you to look her up. Neff, N-E-F-F, or just put in your search engine self-compassion. Self-compassion is not self-pity, and it's not self-esteem. It's treating us the way God treats all humans and all creation. It's loving ourselves with the patience and understanding that we're mortal and human. And it's adopting that sunlight approach that God adopts towards us. One of the ways that Kristin Neff says that self-compassion can be felt and learned is through our body. Our skin is about 15 to 20 square feet in any average human. That's a lot of surface area. And Neff has shown that chemically and biologically, when we comfort ourselves with our hands, putting a hand over our heart, giving ourselves a hug, cradling our own face with our hands, that we experience biologically almost the same identical feeling as when someone else does that for us or to us. We can practice self-compassion in our very bodies. In this Christmas season, when we remember that God came into a body to choose suffering and to choose to feel compassion as a human being, we can remember that we are loved deeply and that we can be compassionate towards ourselves, and that knowing we are loved and feeling God's compassion, God's sunlight on us, is the only thing that will really help us to grow in God. Merry Christmas to you. I hope your preaching goes well this week. I hope you're filled with abundant love
and know you are loved, and that you experience true self-compassion.